guys, we're back again with another group of film reviews. Instead, we were inspired by Star Wars Rogue One.
To watch a couple more fan films.
A couple more fan films, really. Each fan film, we're starting with nothing. Oh, you fucking put more, you're double shot that shit. Here, no, just pour a little bit of mine. Mine's a little low. Regardless, we're going to watch a couple fan films. We are going to review them. We're going to tell you about them. We're going to tell you if we thought they were good or bad, or how they could improve more or less. Obviously, fan films are not made of the utmost quality due to budgetary. We will have that in mind. And that being said, we're still probably pretty much going to roast these movies, because that's what we do. Oh, pussy. Double chaser, what's that? I'm going no chaser, fuck. First film we watched was TK-438, a Stormtrooper story, full director's cut. Appeared to have been in some sort of fan competition. So the story of this movie, I'll go right into. Basically, there's a Stormtrooper. His name is Adam. Also, this movie's directed by Sam Tubia, and Sam Goma Edwards. Couple of filmmakers.
Sam and Sam.
I've never heard of either. Yeah, they will shorten out to Sam. But they're brothers, apparently.
Tubi and Gomi.
Tubi and Gomi. But anyways, so basically, there is a Stormtrooper named Adam, or TK-436. And he has a girlfriend, and basically he's going off to fight for Stormtroopers.
The Galactic Empire.
And yes, that's what I said pretty much. And then he's going to, he has a girlfriend, and she gives him a necklace, and he's like, well, I'm gonna miss you. And it's his human link. It's his link to humanity and not just being a Stormtrooper and a douchebag. And basically, the movie goes about, he goes to wars. He actually was there when on Peru and Uncle Owen got burned to death, which was
he was
cheesy.
Standing there, watching,
and he's questioning it. And he's kind of showing to be like more human, and they're like, oh, it's wartime. It's showing like the violence of war and what can happen and how dehumanizing it can be. So kind of neat. And then anyway, the movie goes on. He's in a battle, and he gets in a sniper battle with some turret. It's like Saving Private Ryan when they're like pinned down and they're like shooting at the fucking turrets. And
the guy
it turns out the guy he's sitting with snipes, and he tackles him or whatever. And the lady that gets sniped happens to be his girlfriend, who's fighting for the rebels. He runs out and he's like, oh shit, I shot you. And then she dies, and he's like, well, now I'm just a Stormtrooper, so that's what it is. That's the full plot synopsis. Basically, Aiden, tell me what you thought of TK-436, a Stormtrooper story, full director's cut.
Yeah, sure. It was, where do I start? Okay, it was filmed not very well. They did a lot of, they had a couple suits.
To be fair, it was a fan film.
There was a couple Stormtrooper suits.
There were,
there wasn't a lot of outdoor filming. Like, pretty much everything was done.
There was like a couple outdoor films.
Small green screen, except for like the scene where him and his girlfriend talk to each other before anyone gets in a Stormtrooper.
But that whole sniping thing and like all the wars took place, the green screen, the effects, honestly, for a fan film were pretty good considering they used CGI, and the effects, obviously, this was more about the artistic short film than the actual effects themselves. But there weren't very many practical effects, which is fine. It's not like you're supposed to stop motion AT-AT, especially in a fan film that's more about the story. But my biggest problem is, I feel like if you went out to the woods or a field or something and you filmed it, and actually it wasn't shot all that bad, considering.
There could be a couple scenes that were done outdoors.
But especially that last sniper scene, they could have found, if they could find an open field or something, to make it look like a real battle, but it was CGI. There's so much CGI smoke, and I think part of that so you don't have to render more of the battle, but it was kind of daunting and not the most visually appealing thing. But all in all, like, the effects were really good for a fan film.
As for the story, it's a little bit of a played out angle of star-crossed lovers.
It's essentially like a mixture of like Romeo and Juliet and Blue and the Gray. It kind of felt like.
Yeah, it actually is a lot like Blue and the Gray. You're right.
Where it was like, you know, brother versus brother, and I get kind of that idea. And it's not just that with Star Wars, but also like Civil Wars in general. You look at the American Civil War, Egyptian Civil War. It's kind of brother versus brother type deal, and people do bad things
with the war. Movie.
The end of the first Pokemon movie. Yeah, this movie should have had the brother, my brother thing in there. Brother, my brother, my brother. That type of deal. But all in all, was there anything else you really want to say about this movie? I think we got our 2 cents out there.
No, it's a pretty straightforward movie.
Straightforward. If I had to say in a word, this movie was good enough. It achieved what it wanted to do, although it's kind of played out, especially for like it kind of felt like a student film with a Star Wars
tinge,
the Star Wars theme to it. Which, I mean, it was a cool enough movie, and I was kind of impressed by the effects and the production values. Obviously, they're not gonna have 200 extras, but all in all, it was an okay movie.
As far as Star Wars fan films go, and I've seen quite a few.
As far as Star Wars fan films
I would definitely put this at the higher end. I'd say it's probably like a solid 8 in the Star Wars fan film realm.
Oh yeah. If we have to go by Star Wars fan films alone and put it in the world of Star Wars fan films, like, obviously we're not going to be saying this is whatever out of 10 compared to like an actual Star Wars movie, but if we have to rate it on a level of fan film, I would put it in a higher class. I'd give it like a 7 out of 10 for a Star Wars fan film. Played out, could have maybe done some different things, but it packed the idea in 12 minutes. It was a competent enough story. It was good enough.